And it says we're live on the air. Welcome to Big Gamer Small Talk minus Next Gen 720, who has a headache from taking too much Percocet. But today we've got Showstopper.
Hey y'all, that midget wore him out.
The one that's underneath there.
Listen, listen. I don't think it's right that you guys make fun of him. I mean, it's a big step to get sexual reassignment surgery.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Those hormones do take a toll on your body, so let him rest.
I'm hoping that he gets the flowers, you know. So we do got Showstopper here. We got Mooch and we got Warrior Wart and we got me, the most compelling game related YouTuber, and you know it. So what a dick, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks
I'm just gonna let you talk. I'm gonna be quiet.
Thanks for agreeing with me, guys. Thanks for agreeing with me. First thing I want to do is I want to shout out Jay Williams. This guy is a graphics dude. You might notice if you go to Warrior Wart's channel or you see his graphic on here, that was made by this guy. He's a graphics artist. He did my logo for my channel. He did Warrior Wart's logo.
Thank you.
He's on Twitter.
Hey, he need to do mine, man. I wouldn't mind him doing it.
He did the you know the guy who did the Big Gamer Small Talk logo, right? The one that we've been he's the one that did that. I'm gonna go ahead and link his site on the on this. You're gonna go into the description. If you guys want professional style graphics, tell him you heard about it through Big Gamer Small Talk. He's gonna give you a percentage off. Whatever it is, it's pretty cheap stuff anyway, but you know what I'm saying, it is a business, and the guy is a cool guy, and he makes really quality stuff, but, you know, for logos and stuff, it's relatively, really, really cheap, but, you know, I just want to throw the guy some business. You can follow him on Twitter as well. Jay Williams is his name. Just, you know, a quick shout-out, you know, if you guys are looking for more professional-type graphics for your channel, which he helped my channel, a lot of people have been really saying, hey, man, I love your new logo, and things like this, so just so you guys know, that's where it comes from.
Just a heads up, Jay. Mooch is going to be coming and knocking that door real quick. I need that logo.
Yeah.
Do you know what his hashtag is? Because I'm looking now, and there's multiple Jay Williams.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to tell you exactly what his thing is right now. Hold on. I'm going to look it up. It's graphic_god.
Graphic_god. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. There you go. If you guys want to, and it says designer, multimedia, and I think he's got a picture of himself with Metallica on his damn thing. Holy crap!
Really?
Yeah, that's badass. Dude knows Metallica.
Man, I ain't heard Metallica in forever.
Yeah, man, they're still good, man. They're for 50-year-olds now. It's hard
to believe, kicking.
Man. Yeah, man, they're still kicking, man. So anyway,
bring me back to them pool party days, man, where I grew up at, man.
As you guys know, DirectX 12, it's something that we've known about. Some of us have kind of theorized about it for a while. We've heard different things about it. We've all kind of said, hey, it's going to have some kind of impact, obviously, on the Xbox One. Phil Spencer kind of downplayed it months and months ago, and so a lot of fanboys on the other side were saying, hey, Phil Spencer said it's not going to do anything. So then we get this tweet from Phil Spencer, and he says, hey, we built the Xbox One knowing full well about DirectX 12. So they basically are admitting that they did DirectX 12 on the Xbox One from the ground up. And I could imagine that some people are going to say, well, it's not going to change much. It's going to change, especially first-party games. Is there any doubt about that? I mean, I think we're all in agreement that first-party games are going to be built using DirectX 12. It doesn't make sense not to. Also, third-party games that use, like, Unreal Engine 4, that already uses DirectX 12, so you're going to have that. And then you have the absolute idiotic fan base from the Sony side that are saying, hey, it's going to do nothing. How can you say that it's going to do nothing after what we saw at the Windows 10 thing? They're even saying that Windows phones can use this to help development, so why wouldn't you think the Xbox One would? Showstopper, let's start with you. What do you think?
I wouldn't sit here and you know, I don't know what's going on with the clickers with this, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of engines that's being built around this. You know, I think you left out one, which was I think they announced the Snowdrop engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unity, Snowdrop, and Unreal, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the ones that's adopting the DirectX 12 right now. It's going to be great. I just don't like that everything that Xbox does has got to be a negative thing, and they got to find something negative.
They downplay
You know
it,
what I'm saying,
right?
to kind of downplay it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying. So I'm looking like, when y'all have good news, y'all want us to come out, do a video and all this other little stuff praising it. Here it is. We have some good news, and you know what? It's nothing. It's like nothing but hate. It's trying to find ways to spin it and put their little secret sauce on it. But I just think, like, people just need to grow up. This is good for gaming. We have a beautiful opportunity to see open worlds, more better worlds, stable frame rates, everything that everybody been wanting out of this generation. This is supposed to help with. This is a tool to help with those things that we've been having an issue with all 14. So I just don't see it.
Listen,
that's what I'm gonna say for right now.
Joe, you're right. The one thing I want to add on that is that we've seen natural progressions throughout these consoles, right? So you've got Xbox Live, you've got chat, all these things that Microsoft was the ingenuitive leader, okay? And now you've got DX12 coming out, which of course we already know that they've always had their DX series. But what I'm saying is that this is another step forward. And what really got me upset was Microsoft doesn't get any credit for this. And for some reason, it's still very cool in the media to hate on Microsoft. And the first thing I read a week ago, after all this was revealed and we saw the true colors starting to come out for DX12, we saw Phil Spencer stand up on stage and talk about how Unity and all these people at Unreal Engine are going to back this up. The first 3 tweets I see out of some people that are in the business, and I respect them, I do, I really do, is don't worry, everybody, Sony's getting theirs too. Well, who gives a shit, in all honesty? Like, that's not what we're talking about today. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to read and learn more about this new technology that I'm going to get to enjoy, and I'm reminded, it's just constantly, we don't get that when Sony comes out with, Sony's got something coming out. Nobody said when Project Morpheus came out, everyone calm the hell down. That visor's on its way. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Microsoft's got something cooking. Chill out. Nobody said nothing. And that's where, when you say, I'm this Xbox fanboy, it's made me into this fanboy because someone's got to be a voice. Someone has to be out there to say, I understand Sony might get it. I get it. But it's not their time, and they haven't shown me anything. So, that's one of the things that irks me right now. And I got a lot more to talk about, but I'm going to let Worry get into something. But it's just, that's what kills me.
I was going to say this real quick. The spin that they putting on it as if they sitting here saying if we believe that the hardware in the box is going to change because of DirectX 12. I'm here to sit here and say that's not what we are all saying here. Am I right?
Yeah,
you're not saying that.
It doesn't change the CPU or the GPU.
It don't change that. You know what I'm saying? But what we do know is that they got custom parts in there. You know what I'm saying? That they had custom to fully implement DirectX 12.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's, what I'm saying, that's all I'm going to say on that. But, we'll get into that a little bit more.
Worry, you're the PlayStation guy, so what do you think about DirectX 12 and the Xbox One?
Well, I'm not really forgetting about the people who try and spin things because that's always going to happen. If you are a fan of Microsoft's ecosystem, okay? I'm not talking about, forget about consoles, right? Forget about Xbox versus PlayStation because as far as console goes for Microsoft, it's really part of a whole ecosystem, which is Windows 10, the one environment. So if you're a fan of that environment, what they're doing is they're creating software that makes their hardware work better for people that choose to use DX12. So that means that if a developer decides to use DX12, of course it doesn't change the CPU or the GPU. Those are set. But what it does do is it allows them to sort of get a bit more, to squeeze it a bit harder to get better performance out of the Xbox One in that environment. Now, it doesn't mean to me that all of a sudden if DX12 comes out tomorrow, every single game on the Xbox One is going to blow away the competition. It doesn't mean that. But it does mean that within that ecosystem, within Microsoft's ecosystem, you're a fan of the Xbox, you're a fan of Surface, you're a fan of Windows 10 on PC. Everything's going to work together, and people that utilize that API are going to be able to get more out of that environment, and that's a good thing. There's nothing bad about that.
what scares me, Worry, coming from my background, and I'm not going to lie, okay, I'm a hardware guy. I don't do software. But the one thing that concerns me is, are we seeing what I've seen and all the reports that I've read, everything from Red Gaming Tech, he does a pretty good job. I don't necessarily agree with what he says. He does a good job of breaking down the technology.
Yeah,
and
he's a pony.
Yeah, he's a pony, but oh my God, hooves and everything. But the problem I got is I'm concerned that what's going to happen is you're not going to see developers.
I was just going to say that.
Give us that. I know with this technology we can hit 60 frames without an issue moving forward.
Here's what
I don't know if we're going to see that.
Well, here's what you have to pay attention to. There was a tweet, I don't know if it was by Phil Spencer or Aaron Greenberg, in which he said that DX12 will make a difference if developers choose to use it. They have to choose to use it. Now, that implies that there's another choice, and that's that they don't have to use it. They can just program, you know, for both consoles without having to worry about any custom software. And that's where you're getting into if a developer doesn't utilize it. Now, somebody had mentioned Metal Gear Solid 5. I was reading a couple tweets. Now, obviously, there's no reason for that to be 720p, especially now. But if the developer chooses not to use that, then they're not going to use it. But again, you know, it's about being a fan of that environment. If you're a fan of that environment and you're buying their products, their first-party games, like you said, obviously they're going to take advantage of this. There's going to be, I mean, you already know Fable Legends is taking advantage of it.
Yeah, Fable Legends, aside from saying that I'm part of the beta, that game looks beautiful.
Yeah. But I mean, they're using the whole Windows 10 environment to give PC and Xbox One crossplay, so that's an advantage right there. But as far as using DX12 to make the game look better, obviously, you know, if you're in the beta, the game looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, dynamic lighting.
Yeah.
Do you think that Microsoft could possibly take the Sony approach in the fact that Sony put their foot forward and said, we are a 1080p machine. We're a 1080p machine. If Microsoft has their three first-party games coming out this year, okay, basically Quantum Break, I'm going to even go ahead and say Tomb Raider because their hands are really in there with Crystal Dynamic, and Halo, and they come out and they say, we're nailing 60 frames per second. 1080p, we got that. We've been doing that. That's done. If they make it so it's that's the way people are conceiving their platform to run, it's almost doing what Sony's done to the third parties and making it so that regardless of what they have to do, it has to come at 1080p. I think Microsoft needs to push it in a much more subtle way, that if this is the technology, that's what they can do, and this is where we need to go. Third party needs to follow our trend.
Yeah, but you have to remember though, third party is also making games on other platforms. So just because Microsoft's first parties look great using their proprietary software doesn't mean that these third parties are going to want to leave out anybody else. So they're just going to make games pretty much.
Well, agreed. I agree with you, Worry. But if what I read was correct, is that they built this into these programs so that they really don't need to make an extra leap in one direction to make the Xbox One version. They're already making certain things that they have to change, which, you know, controller switches here and there between R and B and whatever the other one is, and they can just do that really quick and easy with the way that DX12 has been instituted into Unity, etc. So what I'm saying is I don't think the devs can say, geez, we don't want to go that route because of work. It's more work. It's not. And let's take a look at everything. We're talking about Remedy, and we're talking about Crystal Dynamic here. That's two parties. Those are two companies that Microsoft does not own. They don't own them. And they're going to be using... Right. They're funded, but they don't own them. And they're like, those are the companies that are going to say, this was really easy for us to implement. We put this forward, and it was a piece of cake, and look at what this machine can do. And I think Microsoft needs to massage that, so that they're known as the
massage it.
Well, you got to, because if they don't, if they're just like, yo, do this, they're going to be looked at as like, you know, the assholes, like they usually are. And like that's just because you just got to put your best foot forward. And if you make it sound like that, I think you're forcing the Rocksteadies, you're forcing these other companies. They're like, wow, we can't let our customers down. They are half of the install base. And you know, I mean, that's where I'm going with this. Is,
you know what? Let me just say something.
I just hope. Oh, go ahead, Crap.
I was just going to say, you know what, we might see that with the Snowdrop engine being used and the Xbox One's the lead platform for The Division, which is a heavy CPU-type game due to the NPCs and the world and things like that. that could be why, one of the first and best examples of that, because that game looks beautiful, and we know that the Xbox One's the lead platform, and that the Snowdrop engine is reliant on DirectX 12. So
yeah, I just want to make sure though that like I'm making like I usually like I like to plan for the best but expect the worst most of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come across as though like if the what's the game utilizing Snowblind? Is that The Order?
The Division, right?
The Division. I'm sorry, the Division.
yeah, the Division.
So I don't want to come across as, well, the Division is going to be locked 60 frames per second because the developer's using DX12. If they are using it, I don't know. And on the PlayStation, it's going to be 30. It could be 60 on the Xbox One because of DX12, and 55 on the PlayStation. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's going to be that gigantic leap because of an API on a closed system. Now, as far as PCs go, you can mix and match CPUs and GPUs all you want and get a lot out of the X12. They even said that even lower level PCs will get some benefit, but of course you won't be able to get them all unless you upgrade your CPU and GPU, which you can't do in a console. So I think it's gonna help developers create better looking and performing games, but I'm not sitting here saying that these games are going to look like a next generation game versus what's out on another platform.
Well, it depends on who you listen to, Rory, because what you're saying is that's a valid response and a valid concern. But there are people saying that they've seen upwards of a 40% graphical boost. But let's put that aside. Like you said, I still think come mid next year, we're still looking at similar graphics, but we may be looking at a higher frame rate and constant and locked, no issues, no skipping. And I do think you'll see some graphical output that is greater. But you've got people saying that they can do it. There's other people saying you can't do it. And, I mean, practically, how can it not? Look at the numbers. The proof's in the pudding. They're giving you charts. Intel came out and did a half-an-hour study. They showed you, Phil Spencer got on stage, showed DX11 versus DX12, and we know for a fact, without really knowing for a fact, that AMD has that other chip that was an NDA that was not disclosed, that they put $3 billion into. AMD said it themselves in a public release.
Yeah.
I think later on they got slapped on the wrist for it. But they put out in a public release that it was a $3 billion plan, whereas with Sony, it's off the shelf. Everything with them was off. Me and you can go tomorrow, and we can build a PS4. Now, someone will argue and say, well, we can go build an Xbox One. You can, but you cannot build the Xbox One that we are currently aware of statistically by all the numbers and the tech reads, and then be optimized for what the X12 will give you later this year. Our Xbox One that we built will only do what Xbox One can do today. So that's where I'm saying, like, I think we're all foolish to say that even a 10 or 15% boost graphically is going to happen, and CPU-wise, possibly even greater. So,
Hey, showstopper. What do you think about, like, how everybody was no parity earlier in the 2014?
Yeah,
right?
that was my whole thing. I was sitting here wondering, was this going to hold? Because PlayStation don't have this. Would that kind of like move devs away, especially third party, away, or shy away from it just because of parity?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a concern.
That is a concern, because look, this is how devs don't have the teams or the money to do two completely different game versions of the same game, or not very often. So how like the 360 was less powerful than the PS3, but it was easier to work on. So they would make the games on that and quickly port them over to PS3. That's why PS3 got crap ports. Now we've noticed this gen that's reversed a little bit. A lot of games are made on PlayStation 4 and then ported to the Xbox One. But we're seeing more and more start to use the Xbox One as the lead platform, because you have to, in order to take advantage of the unique set of tools and things like that the Xbox One has. I don't want to see parity on any level. I don't care what it is, because if you paid for either of these consoles, you want these developers to take advantage of what each one can do. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, parity, though, we're still talking about consoles, you know what I mean? So it's not like, I make this argument, and it's probably, it's not meant to make people upset or anything, but I always say, like, people always argue over which weak console is the weakest. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Because You know,
deep thoughts with Worry Ward.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which weak console
people
is
are
the
arguing
weakest?
over which weak console is the weakest. Now, relatively
Discuss.
speaking, consoles are weak compared to if you're going to buy a giant PC with the best specs and put the game in and not have to worry about APIs, and you can hit 1080p, you can hit 1440p, 100, whatever you want to do. So the difference between games, third-party games, even without the X12 now, is narrowing. You know what I mean? It's not that developers aren't pushing these games. The Division looks great. Some of the third-party games coming out in the near future look fantastic. So
yeah, did you guys see some of that Witcher 3 streaming?
Oh yeah, it looks amazing.
Holy cow! And that's Xbox One footage. Like when you see that, I'm impressed with that.
So I don't think that there's going to be this huge disparity.
I really know, Worry, that it's really going to help with the frame rate. If you remember at the demo that they did. They had DirectX 11 running and DirectX 12 running side by side. One was doing 30 frames, the other one was doing 120 frames. You know what I'm saying? So to me, if it's doing that, it can at least hit 60 on the Xbox One. You know what I'm saying? If we just get a portion of that, it's definitely going to make it sure it hits 60 consistent. So I'm looking forward to making the games a lot more smoother. Yeah, with those games that utilize it, it's going to be a lot smoother. The frame rates is going to be a lot smoother. So not only that, they were sitting here talking about, bigger worlds, all these other little things that you're going to be able to do, enemies on the screen, all that is going to be able to sustain a stable frame rate. And I'm looking forward to that because that's what. Can you imagine a game like Assassin's Creed with all the people that was on Assassin's Creed? You know what I'm saying? And it's at 60. That would be amazing to me. Not 30 frames. That would be totally amazing.
Would you take that at 900p, 60 frames per second? Because I would in a heartbeat, man. Hell yeah.
You know what's amazing?
Does
anybody have any problem?
I don't see why you couldn't do 1060 if they're sitting here saying that this API is what it is, and you're utilizing more cores and everything else all these tools that they have at their disposal for using this.
Yeah, if we
should be able to hit 1060.
If we're at 1080p 30 right now, there's no way if you're going to get even a 20 to 40% boost that you can't hold the 1080
boost. You should be able to hit that other 30 frames.
I mean, hypothetically speaking. I mean, like I said, I'm not expecting Avatar graphics next year. If we get them, great, good for us. But what I'm saying is, it's just a smoother gameplay. Well, look at Halo. There's no way anybody
smoother game, man.
Played it. Halo at 60 frames changes the game. What an amazing game! I'll beat 4 tonight.
Yes,
I've gotten through all 4, and I'm going to do 2 over again. It was that enjoyable this time around. It wasn't the 1080p that roped me in. It was the 60 frames.
You know what? Does anybody have a problem right now with the way games look and play?
I don't.
No,
I think
no.
I don't have a problem.
So you know what? So everything else, if you're a fan of Xbox, so everything else is just gravy. You know
it's
what I mean?
Gravy. Yeah, absolutely.
So just sit back, relax, and watch what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Oh yeah.
And with that, that'll talk up the DirectX 12. Look, don't expect. The Xbox One doesn't need a lot of things from this. This is going to help shore up frame rates. It can really improve first-party games. We'll see what the jury says about the third-party games in the future. But to disquote it and discount it completely is asinine. So don't go and believe people that are just trying to say, "Hey, it's not going to do anything," because that's stupidity. Moving on, Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer, I think we'll all agree that he's doing a pretty good job with the Xbox One. He does these calculated little things like.
I think he's doing much better than pretty good.
Oh yeah, exactly. I didn't want to say it because people be like, "Hey man, why don't you guzzle the gravy some more?"
Yeah, well, that's why I said it. For
Patrick.
Yeah. So basically, I just wanted to talk about this for a second, right? Like he does things so calculated, it's awesome. Like with remember when, like the whole, going back to the DX12 thing, remember when he tweeted, "Oh, well, not going to be a huge change," and people ran with it, right? And now we find out it has the potential to be huge. Early on, he said, Gears kind of ran its course on 360. It's up to Epic. 2 months later, they bought the game. You know what I'm saying? And they were, obviously. So he does calculated things. What at the reveal, there's Crackdown orbs, and then what does he do? He reveals Crackdown. So at this Windows 10 event, he wears a Battletoads shirt, clearly a nod to the gamers. He had to know that a lot of Xbox gamers are going to watch that, We all watched it. What was the #1 trending thing was Battletoads based on this guy's T-shirt. And so they asked him afterwards. They're like, "Hey, was that like a nod? Is there, some kind of announcement or something?" And he's like, "Well, I have never head faked anybody with a T-shirt," and then kind of left it at that. So he kind of unconfirmed but confirmed Battletoads coming. Well, we kind of knew that since we got the domain and re-upped all that stuff. But I mean, what do you guys think about like some of the kind of genius like little marketing ploys that he does? I mean, and Showstopper, let me start with you. What did you think about that?
I mean, we all was expecting Battletoads, so that is kind of like reassured that it's coming at some point, But just the little subtle little things that he do. I mean, you could tell the man play chess. You know what I'm saying? So he's pretty good at it. So
yeah.
I just suspect, what I'm saying. He a good chess player, man. I love to play him one day, but just to see how good he is. But man, I just think he's real good, very calculated, man. So that's smart. He's great, man. What more can I say?
Yeah. What about you, Mooch? What did you think about that? Like, are you like as enamored with the calculated moves that this guy makes?
Well, I'll tell you, it's kind of a double-edged sword with me. I personally think that he'll go down as he'll be the Tom Hanks of the Apollo 13. He's the man that saves the Xbox One. He's that good. He's amazing. But the one thing I gotta say, I'm a little torn on his cryptic, like the way he reveals things. Like some of the stuff, like the Battletoads stuff, that's a really cool way to do it. It's a way to reach out to the gaming community, let them know that, hey, we're listening and this is what's coming. I'm not gonna say it. Just look at my shirt. That's cool. But some of the stuff he's been doing with DX12 with it's not so great, hey, it's really great. Have you noticed we're not doing this? We're going to do all of that. And I'm like, it's making everybody go, what? And then we've got the Brad Wardells and these other guys all chiming in being like, no, it's really good, but this. And it's like, why can't we just say, hey, you guys bought this machine. There's no other machine that does this. Like when you go to buy a car, everything on the side of the car is listed. There's not like you buy it and a year later they're like, surprise, open the trunk. It's like everything is told you. I'm wondering, why don't they just come out and say now, hey guys, this is what's going to happen? And like for example, even with the Tomb Raider stuff, like for once and for all, we know with DX12 and Crystal Dynamics being they're basically working at Redmond, okay? We know that it's not going to Sony. Come out and say it's a console exclusive and it's going to now with the marriage of PC coming with Windows 10, we know it's going to PC. We knew this stuff. You guys have been saying this on all your channels for months. Like we know this stuff. So I like how he plays the chess game, like Sho said, but I really would like it if he would just say it already. Like
it's like a politician, right? Because he's like, yeah, he's like, well, we have a timed relationship with them, and then a lot of people are like, oh, see, it's timed, but what you don't understand is he has a timed relationship with that game because he goes on to say in that same interview that like they don't know what Dead Rising 6 will bring because it's not their IP. Right. So who knows what the next Tomb Raider after this one brings, but we know for sure that this one's not going to PlayStation 4. I know a lot of people are like adamant that it will, but Microsoft isn't going to basically pay for this development and advertise and publish it and probably use DirectX 12 and work this closely with this team if it wasn't going to be at least a console exclusive.
It has to be.
I have to disagree a little bit with you, Mooch.
Okay,
with the way the media is right now, you know what I'm saying? With how the media is so focused on Microsoft right now, he has to be that way right now. You know what I'm saying? Until he can back it up with facts. Just like how how he did with the DirectX 12 stuff. He couldn't really talk about it until he's able to talk about it and back it up with facts, with visual proof, and all that little stuff. So if he would have come out and sit here and say anything, he can come out here and say Tomb Raider's exclusive. The media will be on fire. We saw it time and time again. How crazy these clickers get, man, out here. You know what I'm saying? And he got to kind of find a balance to kind of tone that nonsense down. And I think he's managing it well.
Hey, you managing it very well. Showstopper, let me point out one second real quick. You're right, because remember when they did announce it exclusive and how people like Jeff Keighley from the media harassed Aaron Greenberg? They got in an argument on Twitter like, well, what's this mean? Is it exclusive? Is it coming to PC? You know what I'm saying? People literally accosted this man on Twitter. Media people. Jeff Keighley, he's a big media person.
Yeah, but crap, that would have all been not an issue if they just said console exclusive. Done.
Yeah. Yeah,
Done.
I agree, but we don't
Like,
know
done.
like what's finalized. Maybe they hadn't decided if there's going to be a PC port. Maybe they haven't figured out if there's going to be a 360 version still. I don't
I think
know.
there is a 360 version. I think
Yeah,
it is going to come to
yeah,
PC. You know,
yeah.
and that's okay. Like, I'm with you guys. I totally think that, you know, Microsoft, this PC thing, PC is Microsoft. This is just now what's happening is instead
Yes,
of
it
it being
is.
a third, right, instead of it being a third Sony, a third Xbox, and third PC, Microsoft's very smart. They're like, wait, we're doing this on the inside. Now we're going to be two-thirds versus just Sony.
Yeah.
That's really strong. It's really strong to adapt the PC.
I like how they made the Xbox One kind of similar to a PC. It's kind of like it has some things to the PC. When Windows 10 come in, I don't even think they're going to be talking about Xbox. They're going to be talking about gaming on Windows.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a difference. And I think they just kind of emerge in the two, and you know they've been trying to find a way back into that type of world anyway, the PC world anyway. So maybe this is a way to kind of bring their product into the PC world and kind of merge the two together.
I just hope it's not a one-way street because we're seeing everything so far, and I don't think so. I think we're going to get our due justice in a few months. But, you know,
Yeah.
I'm always going to be a console guy. I'm not going to go build a rig. I don't want to. I work at a desk all day. I don't want to come work at it. I don't care if I can bring an Xbox controller. I don't want to sit at my desk at home. I just don't want to do that. So,
Yeah, don't feel bad. I'm exactly with you on that, and I brought that up to someone, and someone told me, well, you know what, my buddy has his, you know, he brings his keyboard and mouse and just sits on his coffee table, and I'm like, that sounds horribly uncomfortable.
Oh man, I ain't doing that little mouse, man.
You know how I get.
You know what I'm saying?
Back, man. That's how I do it. But hey, Worry. Worry. I wanted to get your take on Phil Spencer and this kind of thing that he does too. I mean, what did you think about that?
Well, I think he's obviously done a much better job than that robot. What was his name again? The Mr. If you want an offline machine, buy a 360. Don Matrick.
Yeah, Donnie M.
Oh my God. But I just like the way, you know, when he first took over, people were saying, you know, it's all PR. He's not really a gamer, all that stuff. But as time goes on, you get a sense that this is a genuine guy who seems to want to do well within that environment, and he's pushing Xbox One. He's done a great job. I mean, I have to say he's done a fantastic job. You know, from where they were a year ago to now, without him, I don't think they'd be here. I mean, they'd be here in the console world, but I don't think they'd have the progress that they've had.
Yeah, 50% better than the 360 at the same point in time, which has been a phenomenal console. I don't think anybody would have guessed it after the 2013 reveal that they would be 50% ahead of where the 360 was at the same point in time right now.
Now, the Tomb Raider thing you're talking about, you know, I still don't know about Tomb Raider. And I'll tell you why. You know, and I think when you said, why don't they just come out and say it? Why don't they just come out and say it? We know it. Why don't they just come out and say it? I think that if they're not saying it, then we don't know it, and they don't know it. You know, now, if the game's going to PC, they could say that. I mean, because with the whole Street Fighter thing, you heard Sony say the only console that you can play this on is the PlayStation, meaning that you're going to play it on the PC too, meaning that they don't see the PC as a console. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think that if
Tomb Raider was coming to PC, and I mean, I don't think Microsoft is PC. Obviously, their software is dominant on PC gaming, which is Windows. So that gives them an advantage. So if their software was coming to the PC as well as the Xbox One, I don't see why they wouldn't just say the only place you can play it on a console is the Xbox One, and you can play it on the PC. Now, you might be right when you said there might be a 360 version. Maybe that's why they're not saying it, but that's still their environment. So I don't know why they won't just say it, other than maybe it is not going to be an exclusive.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when Rise was first, Rise and Dead Rising 3 were first advertised on commercial on the internet before the systems came out, it said, you know, Xbox One exclusive. Okay,
right.
Now it later went to PC, and he's made reference that it's just like Dead Rising 3, and here we are. There's no way. What are we? We're going on a year and change.
Yeah,
it's not on PlayStation. It's not coming to PlayStation. We know this. And it's Capcom. You know, let's be honest. Capcom's got Street Fighters. They made a deal with them for that, and they made a deal with them for that. Now, when Dead Rising 4 comes out, it's a new ballgame. Everything's a new ballgame. We got to go back to the meeting table. But there's no way this is coming out. I mean, I really would have to eat my own put my foot in my mouth. It's not going to go to PlayStation. It's definitely going to PC. And I think that's why it's this holiday. I think right after the holiday,
yeah, it's definitely going to PC.
Like bang, 3 months later.
What if they were waiting for this talk about all this Windows 10 and stuff talk before announcing it? That's another thing that we haven't really taken into consideration, because what if there's some kind of online component or crossplay or co-op or something that they're going to allow, and they just weren't able to tell at the time. So I think that we should at least let's wait and see what they say at E3.
Yeah, you know, I got to be honest. I mean, when I watched that conference, not only from like a business standpoint, what they're doing with Windows 10, that got me really excited. I got to be honest, I was really impressed. I really was. The fact that they're tying, you know, it seems like everybody really is chasing. I don't want to say chasing, but you know, Apple with their whole ecosystem, everything works together. The phones, the tablet, and they own, you know, the app store. They own the app store, even though you can get apps everywhere else. You know, the amount of work that they must have done to get this software working throughout all their environment with their phones, their tablets, the PC, the Xbox One. I mean, to me, that was impressive. It really was. I was very impressed with the conference, and as somebody who just likes gaming, personally, I got really excited for what they were going to integrate with the Xbox One. So, you know, I was really excited after watching it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ward. I really think that what's going to be coming in the next 5 to 12 months is exciting. And what makes me excited about it is, again, I'm a dad. I have kids. You know, to be able to say, like, tonight was a great night. You know, we got home from a family event out in Connecticut, came back. The kids wanted to immediately eat up the television for cartoons, this and that. I'd love to have been able to just come over, again, eat my words here a little bit, sit either in a room with a tablet, the Surface, or on my iMac, and just be able to sit here and jam. I would be on the iMac because I have to have Windows 10. PC, I'm sorry, yeah. But, like, you be able to go into another room and use that. Now, the other thing was, crap, you said it in your show earlier today, was that the old Microsoft would never have put other companies on their big. I mean, there was millions of people watching this.
Yeah, they said Steam, and he's like, hey, let me load up my Steam account, and then he's like, here's my Alienware PC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
You know what else? The old Microsoft wouldn't have given away Windows 10 for free either.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not to all Windows 7 and all Windows 8.1 get it for free. That's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge.
They know they have to take a hit up front if they want to get into that market that again, it seems like Apple's
they're looking at, like, newer devices are going to already come with it installed though, right?
Newer Windows devices, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're newer devices. So you take it, you know you don't want to deal with the hassle of everybody that already have like, for instance, I'm about to go buy a Surface Pro 3. One of the questions I asked the rep when I went to the mic, yes, I'm getting it. One of the questions I asked the rep was, you know,
you're gonna love that
is this going to can Windows 10 be on here?
And of course it is.
Yeah.
What's that?
Of course it's going to be on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, but yeah, I asked. I wanted to make sure because I read an article where it said that it was only going to get portions of it or something like that.
Well, that was what
it didn't really distinguish. Was it the 3, the 2, or
I was saying to you, show. I think last time we did a podcast.
Go ahead.
That, like, I'm waiting for the Surface Pro. I have a Surface Pro 1. I've got the most dated one they ever made, but I'm waiting for the 4 because just what you just said. I think the 3 is going to be completely capable, no issues, and you're going to have a great time with it. And I know people who have it and they love it. But I want to make sure that the inners and the software, when the 4 comes out, it's already going to be 4 or 5 months into the Windows 10 life cycle.
Well,
so that was my only thing when I was saying that to you was, you know, you wait for the 4 and you're guaranteed a good 2-3 year lifespan with that tablet.
Hey, which version do you go for? The i5 version or the i7?
In what now?
In that they have like a 60 gig i5.
I'm going for the i5.
Yeah,
the i5
those tablets
for the tablet.
The reason I say the i5 is better I think the i5 would be better in the long run, just because if you remember, we're just going to be using these mainly to stream. So if you're streaming, you don't need that 7. You're be paying a lot more for that 7, and I don't think you need that extra power. I don't think you need that Intel, you know what I mean? I don't think you need that chip necessarily for the streaming you're going to be doing. If you go i7, my iMac's got an i7.
Yeah, that's
when you're actually going to be performing. Like, I played Diablo 3 the first time it came out on the iMac, and it was, it was beautiful. But that's where you want that processing power. you don't need that when you're just. I mean, unless you have different plans that I'm unaware of. I would say the 5, if you're using it just for remote play, is going to get you through.
This is how screwed up I am. I'm sitting here with the iPad and I'm trying to do a Google Hangout for the first time, like trying to figure it out, and I'm like, why isn't it letting me launch? I'm like, dumbass, it's an iPad.
Yeah, but they use the connectivity. What drew me to the Surface Pro 3 was just the connectivity to the Xbox.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everything Microsoft, especially when they have showed that you're able to still party chat.
Yeah.
And everything all on there. So that's gonna be slick. So I'm using it for other things as well. Because I'm mainly on the go. So I'm getting me a mic and editing software and all that little stuff. Because I'm always somewhere doing something. So I can do videos wherever I'm at.
It comes back to, if you're a fan of this ecosystem, Windows, Microsoft, it's great. It means great things for you. You know what I mean? It means great things for the product line. Everybody else who isn't a fan, why would you even care? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why is it a big issue?
Well, you got proof in the pudding right here. Shout out to Jay Williams.
Jay Williams, yeah, he just tweeted.
Surface Pro 3 for him on the i5 is more than enough, and that's him doing graphic design. So
yeah, 8 gigs of RAM is perfect.
Hey, what gig do he have? What gig do he got? The 8 gigs?
He got the 8 gigs.
I know he got the 250. Okay.
He has the 8 gigs. So he does and I think he uses Photoshop on that. So that's pretty cool, man. So shout out Jay Williams once again, man. You guys got to be following this dude. He does great graphics. But
I can't find him. I can't. He just tweet. Oh, I see it. I got it.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk, moving steady along here to these points that I have. We know the Xbox One's going to be able to stream to your tablet and PC. Now, Phil Spencer said, hey, there's pretty much confirmed that you're going to be able to do that the other way around too. You're going to be able to stream from PC to Xbox One and things like that. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, I'm not a PC guy. I think I had a Steam account years ago, but I don't really use it. But what do you guys think about this? I mean, do you think this is kind of cool for guys that maybe do a little bit of both, but maybe want to kick back with a controller with some Steam games that maybe aren't on Xbox?
Who do you want to go?
I'll go first to you, Showstopper.
Go ahead, Worry.
Okay, go ahead, Worry, then.
Let Worry go.
So which way were you talking? Were you talking PC to Xbox
PC
or Xbox?
PC to Xbox.
So they already announced Xbox to PC, but
Xbox to PC and tablet you can stream locally. And Phil Spencer was asked afterwards, and he said basically kind of hinted at them being able to already do PC to Xbox as well.
Yeah, I don't know who. I mean, I'm just assuming because I'm not a PC gamer, but if you're a PC gamer, then I would assume that what would be the reason for you to stream from your PC to the Xbox?
I don't know.
I got an answer for you, Wart. I mean, do you ever watch that Red? Not to keep giving him a plug, but that Red Gaming Tech guy, Paul.
I've heard of it, but I don't watch a lot.
Well, every time he does his podcast, a lot of Crap and these guys, Crap will put Halo, and he'll use Xbox. He plays a lot of PC games, and don't get me wrong, they're all indie PC games. But there's a lot of them that look like Ori.
It's a lot of nice games, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that look like Ori. And those are games that, I'm not going to sit here. Again, we've always said it. To me, indies are the cherry on top. It's nice to have. Now, if I can sit down in my living room again and pull up Steam, or Steam on my PC, and pull down these games that are all like $2, $5, $3, and then port them over to my Xbox One, I'm in. I'm not playing. All I'm saying is I'm not playing these games hunched over a laptop or in a PC in my office. But I will play those games, and that's where the interest comes in. And I think that really, if we're going to do this Xbox PC marriage, it really has to go both ways. That's my point. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use EA Access, but I like having it. I bought it day one. Day one EA Access came out, I bought it.
You're damn right.
Yeah, have I really used it? Not really, but I'm going to renew it for $30. We dropped $30 in our couch cushion. That's easy,
here's the thing: you actually are going to get the Battlefield Hardline. I'm not going to lie.
I'm waiting for the good stuff to come. Still, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they put UFC on there, which was pretty cool.
I think it'll work if you don't have a PC in your house, let's say you just have a tablet, because a lot of people use tablets now. Let's say you don't have a PC in your house, but you have an Xbox One. Right. Now, if I'm able to access Steam and play,
that's my point.
And play games that I can't get on the Xbox One,
right?
Then that would be big.
Mm-hmm.
But would Valve allow that?
Yeah.
Why not?
I think they might actually.
Their product.
Yeah, they might actually work with you because you're still buying their product, and we don't really know. For Microsoft to kind of advertise Steam and Valve up on stage like that, they could have some kind of back deal.
I mean, you can go onto Steam, create an account, buy 15 games right now, and then, if hypothetically speaking, if Xbox One was, had an app, a Steam app, you'd launch it, put in your username and password, and there's your games, and you'd be playing them on your Xbox One. You don't even have to have a PC. Yep. I mean, a PC capable of playing them. Your Xbox is now the Steam machine.
Yeah, keep in mind that, I've seen some articles that say that would essentially kill the Steam machine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we don't know. Like I said, people don't take this as 100% legit. This is just rumor. This part is just rumor at this point.
We're just talking.
Yeah,
we just talking about it for real. So
I
don't want nobody all in the comments like, they lied again.
That's their favorite thing, man. Hey, they're liars, man. And I'm like, what are we lying about?
Hey, they love going there, man. That's funny.
Oh.
I love it because I ask and they can tell me.
I'm just thinking that Steam's really trying to do a Steam box. They're trying to do something to get in under the television. So I was thinking I'm not sure if they're going to go for that Xbox One app.
They've allowed 15 to 20 different third-party people to make up these boxes. The only thing that they've got proprietary is the app and the controller. So I don't think they care if Xbox steps in. Maybe we got to use their controller. I doubt it because you can use it.
Because that thing's terrible looking. Good lord.
It's awful. That thing is terrible. But Worry, you make a good point. That would be a concern, except for the fact that they have 15, 20 Steam boxes being made. Why can't Microsoft be 18? Or why can't it be who cares? It's capable of doing it, and it's not going to be any different than EA Access, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're talking about streaming those games?
No.
Content?
No, download it.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I don't want to stream. The only thing I want to stream is that that Wi-Fi capability in the house. Let's be honest. I don't know if DX12. I don't care. None of that's going to help that. We're not far enough along to be playing competitive games streaming. You know what I mean? I don't personally think that's going to work. That's my personal opinion. Not yet. It's coming. It's definitely coming. But we're not there yet.
You're talking about competitive online, not just single-player games.
Correct, like PS Now. Okay,
right.
That's to me that is, and of course here slap the fanboy sticker right on. That to me that's garbage. That is pure garbage. Like it's there's a latency issue.
Well, you're talking about for competitive games.
Well, no, you even saw. I'm not giving the kid a plug because I can't stand his channel. But there's a guy who claims to be an
Moose just dude all on that PlayStation now, man. He says it's garbage.
Not to ruin this train of thought, but I actually used PlayStation Now today to play Ico. That was one of my favorite games back in the day.
How was it?
And I didn't have any problem, but I will say my internet connection is not the norm for the nation. I have a very, very fast up and down.
Okay. Have you played any of the Uncharted games they have on there yet?
I didn't see any Uncharted games on there.
I thought there was one Uncharted game. That's one they keep showing on a couple of these channels. The dude hits the X button, or the whatever it is, their bottom button, and it literally, after he hits it, it's 1/1000, and then Nathan Drake jumps. It's like there's a huge latency issue on just just a game you're playing, like an RPG game. Like, to me personally, that's a problem. That's a huge issue. You can't be playing a game and then, you'll have muscle memory. Eventually, you'll know that I have to tap it a second before the actual jumps to occur. But that's not how I want to play the game.
It is strange playing a game that doesn't exist anywhere. It's not on my hard drive. There's not a disc in the slot. It is strange playing a game that just doesn't exist. You're streaming it.
Yeah,
it is unnerving.
EA Access is amazing. You download the game, and it's your game. I don't care, if someone's going to sit there and hit me on Twitter and be like, it's not your game. But it is. I don't give a shit. It's on my system. I'm gladly going to pay them another $30 next year. That's never coming off my pin on my home. And it goes right to the game, launches it up. I don't even have to deal with EA Access anymore. And I don't have, I have Battlefield 4 downloaded, and it's not a problem, I
love that game, the single player to that. I was impressed. That really, and I wasn't a Battlefield guy.
4, yeah, I wasn't either.
Yeah,
but that single player game, that single player campaign was just fantastic. I thought I wouldn't have tried that without Battlefield. I also hesitated on buying UFC, which they put in there.
Yeah.
which is pretty cool because I think that's cool. Hey, you still awake with the showstopper?
Oh man, I'm still here. I've been talking. Where you been? You the one gone?
No, I'm running this, man. I'm running this.
Normally, you know what I'm saying, you jaw jacking a lot, but now you quiet, boy.
You know why? It's because it's a little bit difficult because usually next gen's in here like, let's call a spade, and the gloves is off, and so when he's doing that, like I got my computer open, right, and then so I got all the bullet points so that it's like I produce a lot of the show stuff, the content, so I'm sitting here trying to go over this stuff. I'm keeping track of what everybody's saying, and then like I'm letting you guys go on, and usually it's like without next gen, like, hey man, what's up, Nintendo? We use dog shit.
Showstopper.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Mr. Big Producer.
Look at him.
Hey.
Now he's a producer. He's no longer the crap gamer. He got an executive title now. Okay.
Yeah, hey, I'm adjusting my tie tighter that I don't have on right now.
We talking to big producer now. Okay.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Big man on campus. I got it.
I'm just trying to run a smooth podcast. Don't you guys think it's going smooth?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's the next topic, Mr. Producer?
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Okay, it comes out that if there's any negative from streaming Xbox One or to PC or tablet, it's that people are going to try to play up. Oh, guess what? They're so greedy. You need Xbox Live Gold to do it. I personally think that that's a perk of having Gold, being able to stream stuff. If you got to pay for Sony streaming and everything, why shouldn't you have to pay to do it on Xbox One? Showstopper, go. What do you think about this?
Paying for streaming what games? What games we talking about?
Well,
streaming
PC
to do their streaming thing where you can stream your Xbox One games to PC or tablet. You have to be an Xbox Live Gold member.
Of course you need Live for that.
Yeah, so I mean, you don't.
Of course, you need Live for that. I wouldn't expect it not to be for you to need Live. Now, I don't know what the structure gonna be when PC get to do the multiplex for free. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but they gotta add value somehow. So that's a good feature, to add value to playing online, to pay for Xbox Live as a whole, because they lost a lot with what they had behind the paywall. They lost, all the little apps and all that little stuff that they had to try to make it look nice, and they stripped all that down, and now all we're really playing for is the free games and the online play. So
wait, do we know that that's necessary?
Add more value to it to where you can stream it all over the place.
Would you say,
then that's good.
Do we know that that's mandatory?
I believe that somebody asked, and that I think that it is.
The only reason I only questioned it because EA Access is not mandatory to have Live.
Well, I think I read something. I could be wrong. So again, this is just something that I believe that I've read.
If we roll with that, though, Crap, hear me out. So Sony now pays for their online, so they're out. PC guys that complain that say anything about paying for it, if you have a decent rig, I have 2 or 3 of my friends that are only PC guys. One guy has one that's $1,700, and one that he just built was $4,000. Now, how are you going to tell me at $350 for the Xbox, I'm going to complain about $50, which if you look on Amazon twice a year, you can get it for $35. For $35 a year, who's complaining about paying for this? And plus, it gives us, we've had no issues of hacking. I've never had my account tampered with. Twice I've had to remove my information off PSN. So if you're a PC guy, you're a respectable PC guy, you've spent $2,000 on your machine, hypothetically. That's a lot of Live I get to buy before I even catch up to you. And PSN can't talk because they're paying too now, and they're getting hacked. So it's like, I don't see how anyone who complains about Gold, I just don't have an issue with it. I mean, $35 for a year of service? Nothing do we get for a year of service for $35. People are like, well, it can be free. A lot can be free. My cell phone could be free. I don't understand how people say that shit all the time. So I don't really know. I think if it's required, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. Worry, what do you think about that? Because I know you also wanted to talk a little bit about you had this idea that possibly Microsoft might try to lure PC gamers into paying for
Well,
Xbox Live.
the only reason I had that idea is because Mike Ybarra said that multiplayer gaming would remain free on PC. So I started to think, if you buy Fable Legends, say, on your PC, now you can play multiplayer for free, and you could also cross-play with Xbox One people for free, but those Xbox One people are paying for that multiplayer. Now, paying for Xbox Live is much more than multiplayer. There's much more that you get on the console, which is fine with me. I think it's great. But for that PC crowd, Mike Ybarra had said, it's going to remain free, but that doesn't preclude us down the road from trying to add value to the service and then maybe asking a fee. So what I was asking, would PC gamers, that use Windows 10 in their rig or whatever, and utilize all those functions that are coming for free with Windows 10, like that game DVR, like that friends list, like that crosstalk friends list. If Microsoft said, hey, multiplayer is free, guess what? We're going to add discounts like Steam does, and we're going to add free games. Would they pay for that?
I don't know, because I know in the past Microsoft originally did try to charge people, to charge for that before, and people resisted heavily, and then Microsoft had to go back on that. I don't know. Maybe if they offered some games every month, you know what I mean, like how they do with Gold. I'm not sure exactly how that worked, but that PC crowd is fickle, to say the least. I mean,
Steam is free, right?
Yeah, Steam is free.
And those discounts and all come with it, and those stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they do the discounted stuff a couple times a year or something. But it's like most of the time people buy that stuff and then they never really use it anyway.
Yeah, but it's still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is there. Like, I don't understand. I don't think they will charge for it, but it's an interesting point of conversation. I just think that
do you think that creates friction? Do you think that
yes.
friction between a console base and the PC base, both using the same product and the same ecosystem, but one having to pay and one not?
It could create friction. You know what I'm saying? But I think the point that will be is I don't think you're going to see a ton of that. Phil Spencer said there's going to be some crossplay where it makes sense.
Right.
But he also was quick to point out, don't worry, there's still going to be exclusives, and pointed out to Sunset Overdrive as being an example. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think that as long as you do that, and it's not every game, I don't think people are going to notice or care. To be honest with you, just in my opinion.
Yeah, they are different audiences,
Yeah, like I said, look, PC gamers that are hardcore PC gamers, they're going to game on PC. Right. Console gamers are going to game on console. It doesn't matter what's available, because if you look at, like, I'll use the PS4 as an example because it has really good sales according to them. 18.5 million. So, but if you look at the actual exclusives on there that you can't get anywhere else, there's little. So people obviously bought that console, even though most of the games you could get on a PC or older platform even.
When you mention exclusives and how they're really not exclusive if they're on PC. If they're on one console, they go to PC.
I think it is exclusive still. I mean, in my opinion, but
let me ask you this question, because I might be way off. I might be way off base. So I'm not saying that this isn't like a fanboy rant against anything, but Sony's taken PlayStation Now, and they're putting it on limited Samsung televisions. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you go out, and you buy a Samsung television, you don't have a PlayStation. You have a Samsung television, but you have those PlayStation IPs available to you. Now, does that mean that Sony lost those IPs because they're not on PlayStation consoles anymore? Of course
no.
It doesn't, but I mean, that's sort of the same argument, isn't it?
It is the same argument.
It's the exact same argument. Same thing with, you can stream that on Vita, or you're on the phone too with PlayStation Now, right? I mean, like, they're allowing that stuff on phones, like the Xperia.
Right. I mean, it's still their IP. It's just that they're creating a lot more revenue streams for those IPs.
Yeah, you got to make
one in PlayStation.
Yeah, make money wherever you can. You know what I'm saying? You just have to do that. This is the thing. For the most part, there's a few insecure Xbox fans that really don't want to see any of those games go to PC, right? And the only reason why is because they don't want those PS4 fanboys to brag about it or mention it. That's all. And the only reason why they mention it is because they're jealous or what have you of that platform, or they don't want anybody else to be happy. You know, that's the fanboy war thing. So, you know what I'm saying? They're going to go, hey, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, your game's on PC too. Not realizing that, hell, the PS4 is selling so well, all the multiplats are on PC, all those indie games are on PC, all those free-to-play games are on PC, and most of their exclusives were either on PC or on PS3 or even some on Xbox like 360, like Tropico. You know what I'm saying? So
Tropico.
Yeah, I know. I just like saying it like next gen. Tropico 5.
Yeah, I mean, I just did. I don't say it or I eat because it
sounds like an exotic fruit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I think that, it's one of those interesting things. But here's an interesting thing about this streaming that Microsoft has, because they have all this awesome tech. With PlayStation Now, with what you're doing, it's capped at 720p 30 frames per second, and same thing with their share play. Microsoft is targeting 1080p 60 frames per second on their streaming capabilities, and you would think that this is the same tech they might use in the future to stream Xbox 360 games, which Phil Spencer mentioned as well. So what do you think about the difference? Do you think if they can get their games at, whether native or upscaled or whatever, at a higher frame rate and a higher resolution streaming, do you think they could play that up in the media or PR or whatever, especially when Sony is basically capped at at 720/30? And I'm going to start off with Mooch, because you haven't talked in a while.
Like, you say it one more time. Crap, I was listening to you. I didn't hear
that.
Okay,
we got another John.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. No, okay. I don't play Madden.
So basically, Microsoft is aiming for 1080p 60 frames per second with their streaming, which is better than the Sony 720p 30 frames per second cap on their PlayStation Now and their all that stuff, right? So do you think Microsoft should play that up? You know what I mean, as an advantage, the way Sony kind of tried to play up 1080p with the PS4 at launch. What do you think about that?
Well, when we're talking about that, the only thing that PlayStation can actually stream right now is they can go from their PS4 to their Vita, correct? That's it?
You can do, you could, well, that's the remote play, but you can also do the PlayStation Now stuff, which is capped at 720p.
Yeah, but the PlayStation Now is a little bit different than what we're talking about currently with the Xbox. I mean,
the remote play stuff. It's still, even their remote play is limited.
I would keeping the conversation apples to apples is the Vita to what I would say maybe the Surface Pro 3 in the home.
Yeah.
And yes, should they? Absolutely. Whenever you can now hit in your slogan, and we can do it with 1080p 60 frames, and you mean it, slap it on there. Because we know that is a direct slap in the face to Sony. That's what that is. I mean, this whole streaming thing is a huge slap in the face to Sony because, like you just said, they're only able to put it through at 720. So now we're one-upping them. Of course, only this show and maybe 10 more others will promote it. The media won't say anything. But, when Sony does it, if Sony get 1080p on the Vita, Greg Miller put a banner up and all kinds of shit. So, I mean... it's different. They do have a whole fix episode based on it. But so I guess to answer your question, Crap, is yes, I think they should run with it. But I mean, we got to keep the conversation apples to apples. It would be based upon how the Vita can stream. The whole PlayStation Now is a whole nother service that I think we're going to see Microsoft match again and hopefully come through at 1080p on a stronger level with their, what is the name of that? You guys did a show on it a while ago. There's a new system they have coming out.
Arcadia or whatever it is.
Arcadia, thank you. Yeah. Arcadia is going to be able to put that through, and we'll be able to do backwards compatibility through that. We don't know if it's a pay service yet or what it is, but they're claiming that they're going to give you 1080p 60 frames. That's why they're waiting. They're not just launching it half-assed.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. That brings up a good point because, look, Sony kind of launched their thing, and they're like, here it is. Microsoft was like, well, there's a little bit too much latency issues with it right now because, remember, 2 years ago, they were running Halo 4 on phones, on PC, streaming it. And they're like, hey, we have it down to like a 0.0001 millisecond lag, but that's still unacceptable. And for them to say that, that's huge because we know that there is some slight lag with the PlayStation Now service. And I actually ran a test on my PS3 to see if I could do it. And it says that I can do it. I might give it a try, that 7-day trial, and then give my take on it. But, you know what I'm saying? Because I have what I consider to be average speed of people in America. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, they say the average is 4 up, 1 down, or 4 down, 1 up.
That's average at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have more than that, but give it a try. Give it a fair shake and give my honest crap gamer opinion on that. So you can always count on that. Unbiased,
opinion.
100% honest, legit, entertaining. Damn, man. I can't. I know you guys make that stuff.
Well,
so yeah. So
crap.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of yourself on your bunk bed when you look up?
Yeah, you do.
I do. It's interesting because.
Did you sign it to me, the producer?
Hey, I should talk to Next Gen, man. When we do these shows on his channel, they should be like produced by Crapgamer.
Produced by Crapgamer.
Exactly, and you can add like different things in there and stuff. I think it's but it can, like I try to keep the podcast flowing in a way, and it's kind of difficult when. Because me and Next Gen kind of sometimes we like co-host it where he'll go on his longer rants and stuff. You guys you get straight to the point. And you're not talking about Sony's financials, so I get caught up sometimes. So, yeah. So anyway,
well, I'm gonna tell you like this, crap. A lot of this is from a legal standpoint. We need to.
Oh, you're talking about that quantum dust. Oh wait, my bad.
Oh man.
Hey
man, I get some of the craziest comments, man. This is a side plug, man. I get some of the craziest comments from ponies. This pony wrote to me. He said, "The thing that is embarrassing is all you diehard Xbox fans are gloating." You got to be kidding me. We're gloating. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it alone. Go ahead, crap. I'm gonna leave it alone.
What are we gloating
Wow,
about?
that's gonna be in something. I don't know, but I get some of the craziest things, man.
As far as this whole stream,
people write to me.
What were you saying, Worry?
Like this whole streaming 1080p 60. If they get it, should they shout at the top of the mountain about 1080p 60 frames? I'm so done with 1080p. I don't want to talk about it no more. Aren't you guys done with 1080p?
It was so lame.
I don't care about it.
Yeah.
If they stream it and it works well and it's not 1080p, I'm okay. It's just enough. This whole 1080p thing.
Yeah, I agree. It was just like horrible idea. I bet Sony kind of regrets it from a standpoint that now they're kind of locked on that, even though they've had games that aren't, and like the orders coming out that's like 800p and. You know what I'm saying? And they've had other games that couldn't be that. And I just think that they kind of locked themselves in that corner where they're shouting, hey, we're the most powerful, 1080p, 60 frames. It's like those promises that, they weren't able to keep. That's one thing I give Microsoft credit for. They never said 1080p, 60 frames per second. They never played any of that stuff up. They played up, hey, we leave it up to developers. We're going to give you the best experience we can, no matter what resolution it is. We're going to try to get the best frame rate possible.
Right.
So I think that's the way I prefer, in my opinion. Also, I don't know if you guys are Killer Instinct fans. I am, but they revealed Omen for Killer Instinct Season 2, which looked pretty badass. I really liked the final cut of that, and also you guys can check out the trailer for that, and then also there's a tease for the next character after that, Gollum, who's like takes up half the screen.
Gollum from Lord of the Rings?
No, he's a big Golem, like a statue.
Oh, like a totem.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I know if Next Gen was here, he'd be like, "Yo, man, that's awesome, man. That was tight." I don't know. Somebody would have to imitate Next Gen. I don't know what exactly to say, but I think that I think that I'd probably get called racist for trying to imitate him. So I'm just gonna back away from that. Yeah, there's one negative thing that I wanted to bring up, and that's for some of you Xbox guys, the achievement feed isn't keeping up to date, and then also, on the friends list. So, my friends list is working, but the achievement list, like when people get an achievement, usually shows up in the feed, and that's not showing up at all. Like I still get like people's videos and stuff, but none of the achievements that they're making, and also, how it says how much gamer score people have gotten in the last 30 days. That's totally not working either. Yeah.
I have noticed a lot of little gremlins in the works.
Yeah. Now, I just wanted to ask you guys this. Like, a lot of people might go, "Hey, this was never a problem on 360."
Right.
Is this a situation where mo servers, mo problems? You know?
I mean, I think we're starting to see them try to utilize a couple of things and put a few things in perspective here as far as Windows 10. I don't know how much of this is coming through in the updates. I think a lot of us. I don't know if everyone's experienced it or just us. I think we're all in the preview program.
Yeah.
So I think we're constantly getting I don't know if you guys had this, but when we get an update overnight, even if you're on the ready on, it'll hardcore it'll do a hard shutdown, so you have to actually activate it by pressing the button.
Yeah.
That happened twice to me in the past week where it did something overnight. So you can already see that they're starting to put things through and in place. Now, like you said, I never ever try to put the 360 in the same sentence as the One. The One's trying to supersede even our every week we get a new little tidbit from Microsoft saying what they're going to give us, and we're like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Like, so I never put it in the 360. The 360 we got an update like once every 6 months, and sometimes it mattered, sometimes it didn't. So I think they're really, they're pushing the envelope in a really good way. So these hang-ups, they only bother me in one category. When I go on Twitter and I log on, I like to see something from Microsoft when they say, hey, we're aware this is going on. Please be patient. We're working on it. That's what I like to see. This has been going on for like 4 or 5 days. I've been talking to Xbox support for 2 days, and just before we got on, I told Crap and you guys, I finally got a response that says, we acknowledge it, and now we're working on it. Where before it was like, have you tried the power cycle? Have you tried the power cycle? Well, and I'm like, that just shows me when I don't see any other feedback coming back from Xbox, as long as I know they're working on it, that's fine. I know that they have, even if they have 10 people working on it, they've got people working on it. I don't think it's a big issue. You know what I mean? Things like activity feed and gamer score, I don't think that kind of stuff is a major issue for them. I think it needs to be brought to their attention because it may be so minute that it's not on their radar. But like that's the only thing that was kind of pissing me off the past couple of days was I'm logging on to Twitter, I don't see any feedback from Microsoft. So I finally saw something. So maybe we'll see something in a day or two.
Yeah, well, just like I said, I mean, I think that people that will try to compare that to the 360s thing is apples to oranges because you have all these servers running the Xbox One, whereas the Xbox 360 really was the same. Most of that stuff was just kind of hard set or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like you're going to get more problems the fancier you get.
Yeah.
Experiences,
I just
but we're going to get these little quirks.
Yeah, it's been a bit for me. It's been a little annoying with the friends list. It seems like every other day I sign on and the friends list isn't. You get that little message saying we can't display your friends right now.
Yeah.
Like that, but it's never like I can't.
You can't. You can still game and everything.
Right. It's not. It's just a little annoying. Sometimes the littlest things are more annoying than the bigger things. You know what I mean?
I agree, Worry. That's me.
Yeah.
That's first world problems, Worry.
That's right.
Damn, my friends list won't load on Xbox. Yeah. Damn it! Other people don't have water or food and have Ebola, but hey, our friends list won't load. God damn it!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of those situations where, it's frustrating, but again, like the fanboys like to make it into a bigger thing than it actually is too. You know
I just think it's a bigger deal because, like Murray said, it's the small things. I know, and we all know from a technical standpoint, I really don't think it's that big of a deal to fix. And it's the same thing that keeps happening. It's either friends, it's either notifications, it's gamer score, it's achievement pop-up. It's the same 4 things for 13, 14 months now. It's like, that's not that hard to fix, guys. Like, I don't understand why that's the only thing. I can see where if I turned it on and it just didn't work, right? Oh, shit, something broke. This is just not a hard fix, and I don't know if they're taking it serious or they're constantly tweaking it, and that's why it keeps blipping. You know what I mean? I don't know what the issue is. They're not going to ever tell us. But, I mean, that's the only thing where it gets annoying. It's the small things, but I don't think it's a hard fix. So I'm confused on why it happens so often. But it's not a big deal. It's really not. You can game and your achievements still pop. It's just that the lists are fun. They're all funky,
Yeah. What do you think, D?
Coach D.
Coach D.
Love that, buddy.
I'm good. Y'all go ahead, man. I'm good.
Hey, we got John Doe number 2 over here.
Oh.
No, it's all right. Let's see here. I got there's a couple Sony things I wanted to talk about. They lost their class action lawsuit over the 2011 PSN outage. So a lot of people, including myself, eligible for a whopping $15 for your PSN wallet.
Is that what that was? Is that what that was?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, they lost it. They just did, and so they're sending people emails,
Yeah.
and you sign up, and I did, and I was eligible to get some, some restitution from them over that as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like, that much to me. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So some of you guys might be able to check your emails or look into it, sign up on the site if you're eligible. If you had a PSN account and you still know all the information for it, you can sign up and they'll give you something. I mean, what do you guys think about this all these years later, just now?
It's par. Well, it's par for the course for something like that.
When you're dealing with was they being sued? When you're dealing with courts, man, that takes forever anyway. So
yeah, and then it's like
especially
such a little amount because so
like
many
that.
people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you could look at something like that's going to get like 15 million, but when you got so many people signed up for this, you know what I'm saying? It's like it comes down to $15, really? You know what I mean? Come on, get with it. But it's an interesting thing that but it's like. Microsoft with the Halo Master Chief Collection, which people play up all the time as being broken still. And what did Microsoft do? Here's a free month of live. Here's ODST free campaign. Here's in-game stuff. Here's this. Here's this. They're not waiting for core. They took money back. If you bought it digitally, and within that first month, they would take it back.
They gave you Barton Ops too.
They would give you your money back for free. You know what I'm saying? Like they took it back. Like they usually don't do that. Like digital stuff, it's hard to get refunds, but they totally did it. So it was like they made it right away. So I like in that respect, I'm really happy with how they did it. But
for the first time, today or yesterday they announced and they put a lot of patches through for Halo. And I think it plays great. I've been playing it.
I'm in the beta. I'm in the beta for the new.
Yeah, the guy said this is the first time they've never said this, but they did say that what you're going through in the beta. I actually opted out of the beta because I'm so into playing it. I didn't want the beta to come and if it just tweaks something, I wouldn't be able to play it. But they said that this beta that you're going to be getting is supposed to be the cure. This is supposed to be the cure-all. They just didn't want to send this massive one out, and there was a hiccup, so that's why they asked for volunteers because. This is the last one. This is like the last major one. I think they got it down. I don't even see a problem. I've been playing for a long time. Again, occasionally there's a lobby you get stuck in. But let me tell you something. I've been playing Call of Duty for 7 years. Twice a night with me and my buddies, we got to get out of a lobby and go into another one. It happens all the time. So this is just, like you say, Sony fanboy garbage where they're just like, oh, there's a big problem. It's not a big problem. I mean, there's an issue. And the other thing is we get weekly updates from 343 on top of all those bonuses you just said. Again, as a consumer, if I'm getting told that my product is getting worked on, I feel a lot better. A lot better.
Oh, I agree 100%.
That's different. Like Drive Club, nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, like where's the demo, or not the demo, but the PlayStation Plus version? I mean, they obviously patched in the weather, and they did all this stuff. Are they just like basically wanting all those sales now from anybody that was remotely interested, or what? I mean, at this point, shouldn't they have that game to the point where you can offer it? That was offered, that has to be like, I was thinking about doing a video down the line here, like Sony's 10 biggest lies.
Not you.
Yeah, well, yeah, believe it or not.
He was going to do it.
Believe it or not, I'm not the biggest Sony fan out there, so I was thinking about doing a video about there, and that would have to be one of them because that was promised at the 2013 February reveal of the PS4, day and date of the launch of the PS4, you get that, right? And then here we are, 2015, 2 years later, and still not a PlayStation 4.
You know what I don't understand with that game? How in the world did the rain and the weather come out before the free version come out? I mean, that was promised to you day one, and
how does a game launch without the weather included?
Well, I ain't too concerned about that. I'm just concerned about you should at least got a free version, man. It's no excuse for that.
Somebody just posted this GIF. Somebody posted this GIF of a Salt Lick with DX12 on it, and this pony coming over and licking it, and it says "Salty Pony." Holy crap! That's the best thing ever. I'm gonna have to send this out and retweet it. Hell yeah, that is hilarious. Wow. Sorry, that's the brilliance of this show, though. We can just like go off a different direction and things like that. But yeah, I agree, Showstopper. It's it's weird how that happens. But I do have some good news for Sony fans. I know there's a lot of Sony fans watching the show, and they're always dying to know what we think about and what's going on in the Sony world because we're so connected to that. And Worry, you being the PlayStation guy, will be definitely interested in this. Sony Bend is working on a new game, and they're the ones who made Siphon Filter.
Yes, great game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a sequel to that or if it's a new IP, but apparently they're saying they're pushing the limits of what the PS4 can do, which is basic PR speak, what every developer says about what they're making. But it's interesting because their last game that they made was the Uncharted game on the Vita. So they could be heavy into development on this game. I don't know, but it's definitely interesting to keep a look at. Just because, seriously, I'm a Siphon Filter fan. That was a game
that was amazing.
Liked. Yeah, that was
Gabe Logan, right? Was the character?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was amazing when that came out.
So I think that's interesting. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Crap Gamer, you hate Sony." No, I don't hate Sony. I dislike the fact that as an older PlayStation fan, you know, with the earlier PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, they had all these great franchises, and now they don't. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations to where I wish they had brought some of these games back. And I just tweeted out you guys this thing so you guys can check it out. It's hilarious. Just moving on to the last topic that I have, and then if you guys want to ask a few questions, you know, we'll take maybe 5 or 10, but then we're gonna call it a night. But it's a Nintendo related topic. I don't know if you guys much care, but they're cutting out Club Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which sucks. If you guys don't know what Club Nintendo is, whenever you buy hardware or software from them, you go to this site, you enter in the purchase thing on there, and they give you a certain amount of points, and you can get like free games. Like I got, what did I get? I got Mario 2 on the Virtual Console on the Wii U, and I got Mario Land on my 2DS. So you basically get games, and then at the end of the year, if you get a certain amount, like Platinum membership, you get physical stuff. They send you like a trophy or posters, or you pick what you want. So it was a really cool thing, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people like this, and they're closing it down completely, which pretty much sucks.
Yeah, I have a ton of the points on that on Club Nintendo. I was saving them for like something really big, but it's been going for 6 years. They said that there is a new rewards program that they're going to roll out. I don't know if they are or they're not, but they're saying they're working on something. But there is a schedule for the release, certain dates when you can use your coins. If you're a elite member, there's gifts for you in particular. But I think it's June 30th. I'm not sure if that date's correct though. That's the last time you can use your Club Nintendo points. So use them if you have them.
Yeah, I spent mine up. I mean, what do you got? I mean, is this a bad sign for Nintendo?
So use it or lose it.
I don't know. I mean, you could say it's a bad sign. You know, if you say, hey, the Club Nintendo, it's been around for 6 years. It was a rewards program for loyal members. They gave out a lot of great things. A lot of the points you got. I mean, you got free games on your 3DS, on the Wii U. You got a lot of the older titles that you can download. You got a lot of like figures and stuff like that. The only reason I would say wait to see if it's a bad thing is because they did announce that they have this new program that they want to roll out.
But you can't save any of the stuff from Club Nintendo. They're telling you to spend all your points.
Over. Yes, your points transfer over. But yeah, I guess like anything else, you can look at it both two ways. It could be bad news, or you could say the new program's going to be good. Let's wait and see.
Yeah. And then I know you're a Nintendo dude as well as the PlayStation dude. You were playing some Bayonetta.
It's a brilliant game.
And you were probably thinking, just like I was, that wow, if they do as good a job on Bayonetta.
You know what? He even said, in particular, I was listening to an interview with, God, who was it? Oh God, I can't remember his name, but he had said that, about Scalebound. Look to Platinum Games' previous games. In particular, Bayonetta.
That was Ken Lobb.
Ken Lobb, yes. Ken Lobb.
Yeah.
Look to Platinum Games' previous games, in particular Bayonetta 2, to get just a sense of where Scalebound was going. And if the gameplay is like that, but the world is open,
with Dragon Companions,
I'm sold. Yeah, absolutely.
Because look, I know, like D, you don't have a Wii U yet, but Bayonetta 2 is a really good game. People put that up in game of the year category. Imagine
I just hope that Platinum Games gets the success that they deserve, because they haven't had it yet with like Wonderful 101, Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, and they really should have it because their games are brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. It's a fantastic game. If you guys haven't played it, the Wii U is worth getting, especially if you can get a deal on one, because they have really good games, and that's one of the better ones.
Well, what got me excited about Scalebound, though, was we all just spoke a while ago about how Microsoft keeps their cards to their chest. They don't really talk up much. And when Ken Lobb came out and made that comment, like, he was basically saying that I'm putting words in his mouth now, but he was saying this game could be the one that we remember for this generation because it's that diverse and it's so much different than what we're seeing. That kind of got me right back into the excitement category for Scalebound. I thought Scalebound would always be a good title that Microsoft would have. But now I'm really excited to see what it is. You don't usually see Microsoft talk like that. They just don't express that kind of passion.
What was cool was they confirmed it's a huge AAA endeavor, and that Platinum Games went to them because they're huge in North America, and they wanted to partner with a company that was huge in North America because they haven't had that big sales success, over here, which is a shame because they've done really, really good work.
And they should have success.
Yeah. And you Xbox gamers, man, you should be ashamed of yourself if you don't support the exclusives. You know what I mean? Like, not just the Sony dudes, man. I mean, I know that we get on them sometimes, but if you're not buying these things, then don't complain when your games are going to PC or when your games are going, you know what I'm saying, or you're not getting new IP, and why are we getting sequels after sequels, and, that's why. You have to support these games, and especially these unique titles. Don't be afraid to get in there and, buy them, It depends on us. I mean, it does. We're the ones that go out there and buy these games and support these companies, and that's, what keeps them going, and they're a good developer. They've done nothing but good work, so I'm really looking forward to what goes on. Hey, Juan Carreri says, "Hey, Worry, now that Next Gen is sick today, who's going to question your heterosexuality in the podcast?"
Yeah, nobody has yet, right?
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, we haven't really taken much time to address Next Gen's gender reassignment, but let's just say when he comes back, those dreads work both ways. So, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Iron Wolf says, "Great show, guys. You think you'll hear more about DeLorean at GDC?" I don't know what DeLorean is. What is that?
DeLorean. I'm not familiar with DeLorean, other than the fact that it was a car a really long time ago.
The old school DeLorean, huh?
Hey, are they going to show up with the Back to the Future car? Is that what you're trying to say, Iron Wolf?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Was the DeLorean?
Yeah, what was it?
Compatibility stuff?
I don't know. It could be. I have no idea.
I did hear of it. I know what he's talking about.
Maybe you can elaborate, Iron Wolf, because I'm not sure offhand what.
Yeah, drop us a hint, Iron Wolf. I remember hearing about it, but I can't put my finger on it.
Let's see. Cow of Gaming says, "What do you think should be added to Forza Motorsport 6 that will help people, the Sony fans, to stop saying it's a milk franchise?"
You know what, guys? Real quick, I have something called the Internet, and I looked up DeLorean. It's Microsoft's cloud gaming system.
Oh, okay, their cloud gaming system. Yeah, I think they should show that off. I think that they,
It says that they've designed new software that predicts what you'll do next.
Yeah, that was the interesting stuff to cut out the latency issues, right? So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, so I think that if they're going to show it off, then they definitely should. And then back to Cal of Gaming says, "What do we think about if you add to Forza 6, it will help it stand out from the predecessors and make Sony fans." Wow, what the hell is that?
Who's outside?
That sounds like a.
That's me outside. It's a motorcycle going past.
Oh damn, man! Tell me you're on a podcast, dude. Damn.
They riding up the street with that stuff.
He basically wants to know. He says Sony fans keep calling Forza milked. He says, what can they do to add to it to make it seem not that way? Well, first of all, in my opinion, they're going to say anything's milked that the Xbox does. But they're fine with a God of War 6 or a Ratchet and Clank 12, and you know what I'm saying, Uncharted 4 or 5. That's that series just came out in 2007, and we're already getting the 5th standalone game. But this is the bottom line. It's every other year. You get Motorsport, then you get the Horizon. They're two completely different types of games. I think that you're going to see probably night driving and weather in this, and I think, of course, you're going to get 1080p 60 because that's kind of their forte. All the motorsport games have been 60, and I think if they use some DirectX 12 or some of those little tricks of the trade, you're going to definitely get a better looking game than the launch game, which was Forza 5, which looks great. But obviously, with it being a launch game, it was a little short on content, and you had like the cardboard cutouts or whatever. So hopefully they can atone for that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think, well, the Forza franchise.
Man, I barely heard you. You was roboting.
Was I roboting, guys?
No, I heard you.
Yeah, man, you was roboting bad.
No, I think Forza is Forza. That's kind of the way it is. I mean, like they're gonna, like you said, they'll enhance some of the exterior things, the audience, the effects, the night, the light. But I mean, if you're just not a car guy, I don't really.
Yeah.
You know, that's a niche group. You know, and I think it's great that they have their staple because every platform has that. You know, Sony's got their Gran Turismo, but I mean, so they always have to have one that goes head to head. I'm more of a Horizon. I prefer that because it's got the open world and it's got, you know, pick what you want to do, bucket list. You can do the same championship 3 different ways with 4 different types of trucks and sports cars, ancient cars, Corvette, you know, whatever. It's just neat to have those options. But like Rory said, if they're gonna make fun of it, you know, they're gonna just keep poking fun at it, whatever. I mean,
yeah, I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, that's what they do because they're, you know, they're a little bit upset about what they've picked or whatever. They want to try to tear down what's not PlayStation, which, you know, let them, whatever. Last Devastation messaged me on Twitter, says, when will we get the Windows 10 and Xbox One? And Phil Spencer said that's going to be in the next 2 months or so. We're getting a new, I guess, Windows 10 UI and stuff. With that, so you guys can look forward to that in the next couple of months. I'm sure that the preview members are going to get something
first. Yeah.
Something first, yeah.
Did you guys see the rumor that Quantum Break's coming in June?
I didn't see that. Is that pushed back?
No, that's not.
Yeah, it got pushed back.
Well, people said that it was going to come out in September. That was the rumor from this insider.
All they ever said was 2015. They didn't say when.
I can't wait for that game.
Me too.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
I'm super excited for it.
If it's June, if that's got any kind of real legs, talk about Microsoft doing what Apple does. They could show that game as a huge closing, and it'll be like, it's available now. You know, just like go get it because June's E3. So if it comes out in June, they could be like, it's not. You guys can't wait. We've been talking about it for 2 years. Go home and download it. It's ready right now. Like that, you know, you can almost drop the mic and walk off the stage because that is a huge title. And I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool if the June rumor is accurate. If not, it will probably. The thing is, fall is just really tight right now. You've got Tomb Raider, Halo, and
possibly Scalebound. They're saying, hey, this could come out this year.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that would be the one to get pushed into next year if they do any. I also think that Tomb Raider has a lot to do whether or not Uncharted releases this year, because if Uncharted gets put back, I would expect Tomb Raider to get put back as well.
They're saying, I heard another strong rumor that Uncharted will come out end of September, they're saying. So.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that, but I think that'd be a surprise considering it was kind of in shambles from what they showed at the
It's not going to be anything great, I'll tell you that much. I think it's going to be a good title. I don't think it's going to be anything great.
Thank God Colin and Greg aren't at IGN to give it a 10.
Yeah. Now it'll get a 9.1.
Hey, did you see that they're trying to play up that they're gamers for everything? Now all of a sudden they like State of Decay and Ori and the Blind Forest.
Those guys, not to give them too much of a play, but to be honest with you, it's really funny to watch them now because you watch them, like you said, when they're on their Kind of Funny channel and they're kind of open to everything. But then I was like, let me just go see because they're still doing Podcast Beyond on IGN. I switch over and it's almost like a switch. The minute they go over there, they were talking about, Colin was like, well, we know that they have 18.5 million. That was a month ago. They're probably at 19 or 20 now. And I'm like, I want to be like, this is a guy who always rips out fact sheet. Where's your fact sheet? Where do you have anything that says that except for Yoshida? He slipped it out of his mouth eating sushi. I don't understand how, nobody even, 18.5, send. It was like, nobody has any proof of these numbers. And Microsoft, when do they do their first annual quarterly, numbers? Isn't that coming up? End of March?
March, the end of March. Right? Yeah.
I can't wait till that comes out. But then again, it's such a delayed time that the ponies, they go crazy. They're like, oh, well, it was 18.5 in January, so it's
they'll say it's 25 million PlayStation 4s to now.
No matter what it is, you can never really keep up because Microsoft has that delay. But those guys are they're like I said, if you watch the 7-minute clip they have on YouTube feed for Podcast Beyond, it literally is the old style of them. Then you click on the next thing that they filmed 5 minutes before the Podcast Beyond, and they're like, "Oh, I love State of Decay. It was great. I really
it was. You lose yourself in this, but now donate some money for us so that we can do this."
Yeah. They want every customer on the other feed. So sorry, I went on a rant there.
That's all right. That's all right. The opinion of the mooch doesn't reflect those of Big Gamer.
Hey, I'm excited about State of Decay. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know what? You know what I'm excited for about this? They did it right because it's not a full price game. If you bought it on 360, it's only $20 on Xbox.
Yeah, it's 33% discount if you
and you get all the DLC, which I hear is pretty big. I put 50 hours in it on 360 without having any of the DLC.
Yeah.
So having the DLC should be huge, and it's discounted for me. So hell yeah. I'd be foolish not to get it. I know that it's a remake, and usually we're against remakes, but not when it's Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I love remakes.
Yeah, I think
Saints Row 4 is amazing.
Oh my gosh, I've been playing the hell out of that. Holy
That's
crap! Yeah, I seen you going around with your dildo bat, smacking the crap out of things. I love that game. It's great. Yeah, it's like, you know what? You cannot play that game without a smile on your face.
Yep.
I guarantee it. I defy anybody. In fact, it's like so much better than like GTA, in my opinion, because GTA takes itself way too seriously.
Yeah, I'm not.
I love GTA.
I mean, you know what? I like it too,
Yeah,
but it takes itself really seriously, and I think that's why I like Saints Row a lot. You know what I mean? And anyway, for the basic Saints Row 4 remake,
I wish Saints Row would go back to what it was when it first started.
No, that was a GTA clone.
Yeah, it was. It was like
they had differences though. It was centered around the gangs.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? And
GTA though, you can join a gang in GTA. You could drive a car. You could fly a plane. You could be on a boat.
Yeah.
Showstopper disagrees.
Yeah.
Yes, I disagree.
Hey, Xbox God says, hey, what a nice name with the Halo Master Chief thing. He says, why do Sony fans get so salty at the slightest sign of good Xbox One news?
For the same reason that crazy Microsoft fans do. Just for game on, relax. Same thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, both sides.
Xbox God, they mad because we're gloating.
They hate us because they hate us. That's what that is. They hate us.
Yeah.
Because they hate us. That's all.
Y'all out here gloating.
I didn't see that yet. I didn't see the what's the movie?
The interview. It's on Netflix right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, they just put it on Netflix. Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
Is it a good movie?
You know what? I thought it was hilarious, but a lot of people just were like, "Hey, it's this, it's that." I thought it was really funny. You know, I just sometimes you just like to kick back with garbage and laugh. You know, it wasn't like anything brilliant, but I think that I
think that's probably a good way to say it. I mean, if you want to just kick back to one of those ones that it's mindless humor, but those Seth Rogen films, he's got a few glimmers of like a diamond in the rough here and there, and the rest of them are just like Crap said. They're like knocked up and all that.
That was hilarious. Like, I liked that movie.
It was all right.
Yeah, and he was like, he had a decent supporting role in like 40-Year-Old Virgin and stuff. But he's not my favorite. Like, I thought that James Franco actually did a really good job, and the guy playing Kim Jong-un I thought was really funny. You know what I mean? Like, I just did. I just thought it was funny. Like, I thought that people way over reacted to that movie. I did a review of that movie because I supported it when they released it digitally, which a lot of people that think that I'm anti-Sony or whatever probably would be surprised to know that I bought that movie to support it because I thought it was wrong to let terrorism dictate what you're going to. But, I don't want to get way off topic. But, yeah, that movie's on Netflix right now, so go check it out if you haven't.
I'm going to watch it in a minute.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. If you like just like goofy stuff, then it's pretty funny. Eli Reed. Shout out Eli Reed.
I don't like goofy stuff.
He said no. Yeah, right. He says, Eli Reed says, what's our most anticipated game for Xbox One in 2015?
For what system?
for Xbox One.
Okay, who's going first?
I'll go first. I'm a Quantum Break is the one my most anticipated, and then would be like Halo.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
You know?
I couldn't pick one or the other. I'd say they're both neck and neck right now.
Yeah, that's why I said that, because honestly, those are the two that I'm. Quantum Break being the new IP, but Halo's Halo, and I want to see what they could do with, all the advancements of the Xbox One and a game built for 60 frames from the ground up. Because if you notice, like the Halo Master Chief Collection, like some of the earlier Halos, like Halo 4 feels good at 60, but like Halo 1 and 2 sometimes feel a little awkward at 60. I don't know if you guys maybe notice that, like it feels maybe a little bit too fast. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
I like it, but it feels weird. Maybe
It's
not
kind of
natural.
like it's like the first time someone took that old 8mm tape of your birthday when you turn 5 and they threw it on the disc and you're watching it. It's moving a little fast and you're like, this don't look right. I prefer that ticking noise in the back moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't really meant for that, but they brought it up to that. You're right, but 3 and 4 are playing at 60.
Oh my gosh, four I think is just just shows you how far advanced 343 is over Bungie. I know Bungie took some licks over 4 because people didn't like the loadouts and stuff, and that's fine. They fixed that for the next one, but the fact that they were the first ones to get Master Chief in actual HD, and that game looks better than Destiny in my opinion. Halo 4 remastered. And all they did was increase some of the lighting and textures and stuff. You know what I mean? I think they did a wonderful job with that.
We got to meet the guy in 343 that got handed the job to make Cortana look like that. That guy was crazy.
Jesus, yeah, man, wow.
I mean, he was like, "I'm going to take this to the next level." That is just kind of wild. I'll tell you, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Let me see. And there might be.
I know you don't pass up the change.org thing, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
We must stop this outrage. Don't bring DirectX 12 to the Xbox One.
Are you serious? Don't bring DirectX 12 to the. I'll be doing that.
Somebody had to make that, man. I don't think no pony that crazy.
That's like saying we don't want GM to make Corvette anymore. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. It's there.
It don't make no sense at all.
Well,
man, that's funny.
It's like we want Sony to drop the PlayStation name. Bring PlayStation name to the Xbox. Let's call it the PlayStation Xbox.
Wow, yeah. That's just crazy. Some of you guys on both sides are just crazy with some of this crap. And where do you come up with it? I mean, come on, let's not bring DirectX to Really? There's so many different things you can petition, and that's what you're gonna do. Wow, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
Oh man.
You know what's a shame is that's a legitimate site for real problems in the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it's filled up with, hey, bring this game to PlayStation. Hey, bring this game to PC. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, I just think the audience is really young.
Yeah, I agree with you right there, and that's as good a place as any to leave the comments and the podcast. We, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But I wanted to say congrats to Worry Ward on getting 550 subscribers, and he's also back on Twitter.
Oh yeah, congrats.
So give him a follow while he's still on there, because you never know.
Give a shout out to our boy Z. Zaire getting that operation tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
He going. I was gonna say that.
Don't go too big with the C cups.
Yeah, I know from personal experience.
Yeah.
He gotta have 3 surgeries. The other one is to remove his facial hair.
I'll tell you what though, men do like women with a lot of freckles, so he's gonna have a lot of dates.
Oh man, he's gonna be in it to win it, man. It's gonna be great,
win it
man.
to get the hell out.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So hopefully you guys had a good time.
You change your nose and everything.
Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's been real, man. I appreciate Worry and Show and Mooch for stopping by and kind of I threw this together because I just wanted to get this done, because Next Gen is sick and he is having surgery this week, 100% legit. So who knows if we'll be able to do one early next week or whatever. So thanks for checking it out.
Right.
Rack 'em up. Let's go.